Some of our most favorite projects that we share with you guys are before and afters, and it seems like those are some of your favorites too.
So we thought it would be super fun to sit down today and walk through some of our favorite before and afters.
And some of the most controversial.
So let's talk about it. One of our favorite projects is the house that we renovated for the Berry family. They had a very outdated, small,
ranch-style home. And I think it was one of our favorites because we got to be a little bit more modern with the design on it.
And check out the living room before. This thing was dark and it needed some serious help.
So we were able to knock down one wall between the dining room and the living room, and then the wall between the living room and the kitchen we were able to open up a little bit more, and we turned that service window into a big open island area.
What's a service window?
It was like this tiny little window in the wall, and it looks like somebody in the kitchen could like hand them their food.
Like McDonald's, like driving up to McDonald's.
Yeah, which would actually be, I think they said that their kids actually played that sometimes.
With that window, not anymore though. And right when you walked in their house, they had a very small opening that led into this very random room. I think it was meant to be a formal dining or formal living room, but we saw a better idea.
Both the Berries worked from home, but they also needed a place to have a dining room and an office, and we thought that it would be a great idea to give them both. So we concealed an office area behind these sliding barn doors.
That actually is one of my favorite projects that we've done together. It was huge, so we each tackled one end of a bookcase, and then we came together to put it all together. I even think we do have a picture of us sitting on it, don't we?
We do, yeah. We took a picture. Of
one
course,
of our
we
favorites.
always take pictures sitting on things. So now when you walk into their entryway, you see a beautiful dining room, and behind it, it looks like a beautiful entertainment center. You don't know what it is. It's just beautiful with the barn doors. They can open it up and work, and they've got plenty of storage space in there.
And let's talk about that dining table. That has to be one of our favorite designs. We will link below to the plans to this table. It's like the perfect combination of modern and rustic, totally shanty.
I love the thick legs on it, and I love how it doesn't have any breadboards on it. The legs, the top of the legs are part of the tabletop itself, so I think that is one of my favorite designs. It looks really modern and gives it kind of a different characteristic.
And we can't talk about the Berry house without talking about that fireplace. We gave this outdated brick fireplace a few coats of Gauntlet Gray by Sherwin-Williams, added a mantle, and it gave it a whole new look. In fact, Ashley even built some really cute shelves on the side of it. It's honestly the best thing you see when you walk into that house.
I love how we have the reclaimed wood on the side of the fireplace, and it also plays off of the vent hood that we did. And then we've got a third area on those barn doors where it all kind of ties it in together. But I love that we were able to open that kitchen. It goes straight into the dining room and straight into the living room. Mission accomplished.
Done and done. So we have some pretty lucky sisters
that have been able to get their own houses crashed by Shanty.
So one of our favorites is when our little sister needed our help with her entryway.
So she told us that when the kids come home from school, they open the front door and they drop their backpacks all over the floor. All the shoes are on the floor, and it's also part of their living room, so it's really the first thing that you see when you walk into their house.
So what we first decided to do was give her a really cool board and batten wall treatment, which really gave her a focal point when you walk into the house.
For storage, we built a $25 farmhouse bench.
Yes, so cheap and so cute.
And that gives the kids a place to sit down and put their shoes on. And speaking of shoes, we put baskets underneath the bench, and those can hide all the shoes.
And we had a really bright idea. That was a really dark spot in her house, so we also gave her 2 Corbel lights that she's able to turn on and off. They're mounted to the wall, and it didn't even require us hard wiring.
Speaking of hard wiring, a lot of you guys were very passionate about those exposed cords. We designed it that way. We have so many Corbel lights that we love that look of the cords hanging down and being exposed because it gives it a little bit more of a rustic feel. You can hardwire them if you want to.
But you always have an opinion about it. So our other sister, that we've done a few projects for her.
She's moved 2 times, so of course we've come and crashed her house in Houston 2 times. So the whole theme of this house was to really give her a custom look in her home because it was very builder grade when she moved in. and we were able to trim her windows out very inexpensively. It gave it a very farmhouse, very custom look, and I think it cost us maybe $40 in lumber.
Another problem she had was this great long wall right when you walked in the house. It was all you saw. So we were also able to give her a really cool wall treatment right there. I think it made the biggest difference, and it didn't cost very much money at all.
Well, and to have a wall that big, all you see is wall.
Yes.
And you don't want to just put furniture up against it. So I think adding that board and batten treatment really gave it some texture and some character and made it not look like a big blank wall.
Yes, and she's got a lot of kids, which means television. That was where they all sat to watch TV together. So we were able to give her a really cool console that's got storage on the bottom. She's able to throw the kids' toys in there, and then we've got the TV mounted to the wall above it. She's got the perfect television situation right there.
And we also built her a 5-foot-long coffee table that stores baskets underneath to hide the toys, and it's got wheels on it, so it can be moved wherever she needs it to be moved. If they want to have a sleepover downstairs, she can move the coffee table out of the way. And I think that was under $100.
And you can't have a Shanty house crash without floating shelves. So we designed her some really cool floating shelves. And honestly, it's one of the first things you see when you walk in the house, which is pretty cool. And we were able to kind of give it a little bit of a different look by using a pulley and rope to faux hang it.
And moving into the final room that we updated, it was her mudroom off of the garage. They didn't know what to do with this space. It ended up being a collect-all. So instead of having just hooks on the wall like she had before, we built her an actual locker storage system that has a bench. It's got room for baskets to hide all the shoes, and each kid has their own spot to put a backpack and their lunch.
She says she likes to go sit in there and hide and have coffee by herself. So that was good.
I don't blame her.
That was also successful. And not long after we finished that Shanty house crash, they had the opportunity to purchase another house. And so who did they call again?
Shanty Sisters.
These girls.
So it was a new house to them, but it was actually an older home, and it had some older features. It was in great condition, but they wanted us to give it more of an updated, modern look that fit their style.
So we started our work in the dining room where she had a full set of beautiful windows. She wanted a way to cover that half circle window, so we got to thinking. We were on limited budget, so we decided it'd be great to be able to give it a wood treatment on the inside of the house that mimics a farmhouse trim, but on the outside you would just see white, similar to a shutter or something like that. So many of you loved this idea.
And so many of you hated it. So you didn't understand why we would cover a beautiful window like that. She lives in Texas. It gets to be 110 degrees in Houston in the summertime. Around 2 o'clock in the afternoon, you don't want that sun coming in all the time. And the options that she had to fill in that half circle window are not what she was looking for. So we got creative and we made it look like a beautiful casing on the inside of her dining room.
And I personally love it.
Same.
So from there we moved on to the dining table. This is one of our favorite dining table designs. We gave the bottom a really cool farmhouse white finish. Actually, that one we even kept a clear coat. We didn't even use a stain on it because we loved the finish of it.
It's got a very modern, very rustic look to it, which is still really true to like our style, but she's very young and fun and way cooler than us. So
Totally.
it was a great table for her.
So we didn't stop at the dining room. We moved into the kitchen and we had some fun there. For starters, she had a kitchen full of orange cabinets and we knew immediately how to fix those. We spent very little money and gave her kitchen a whole new look just by painting the cabinets. And it's a super easy DIY. We're gonna link to that below, so make sure you click on it.
We get a lot of questions saying, how are the cabinets gonna hold up over time? She has 5 kids. It's been over a year since we did the kitchen cabinets and they've held up really great.
Yeah, in fact, she was here last week and told me there isn't one spot that has caused a problem.
That's impressive.
Yeah.
So before we got there, she was able to get rid of the Formica countertops and get new quartz countertops. The Formica went halfway up the wall. Actually, I think it went all the way up the wall.
all the way up.
For the backsplash. So we were challenged with how we could do a backsplash, not only budget friendly, but also time friendly, because we were only gonna be there for 3 days.
So we thought it would be super fun to take our love of wood and put it on that backsplash, and that's exactly what we did. We spent under $200 and gave this kitchen such an updated feel just by attaching wood to the backsplash. It was beautiful.
It was such a time saver for us because that was one of our plan B moments because we had a different plan. We were gonna do a faux brick backsplash and we went to the hardware store and we came across these planks that were already ready to install. They already had a whitewash because they were a, what is that called, driftwood
Yes.
finish, and we were like, this is going to be a lot faster. It's going to cost about the same amount of money, and it's going to be beautiful.
So we went with that, was perfect. So from there, we also decided to remove some of her existing upper cabinets because she really wanted some open shelving to be able to display some of her cute stuff in her dishes.
Insert another controversial moment. A lot of you were upset that we got rid of some storage space, but we had already talked to her before. We had already planned it out completely. She didn't want those there anymore. She wanted some open shelving, and she had plenty of storage on the other side of her cabinets.
So that is just what we gave her. These are some of the coolest floating shelves we've done. They actually sit on pipes, so pretty awesome.
And we were able to use some of the reclaimed wood that we love to give it a little bit of a texture, a little bit of a contrast between the cabinets and the backsplash.
And to finish it up, we gave them a place to eat, to sit and eat. Ashley designed the cutest hairpin table. How much did you build that for?
I think it was like $60 or $70.
It's so cute, guys. So it's got these beautiful hairpin legs and a round top. It's like the perfect piece for a smaller kitchen, the space that they had. I absolutely love it.
So that wasn't actually the project that finished it off. We also did a barn door hack on her pantry door. She had a double door for her pantry, so we were able to remove the door, and we left the existing casing on it because it still looks pretty. We took the hardware off the inside, and we built the easiest barn door that we have ever built. Hung it up. It's not only a piece of art on the wall, but it's also super functional.
And it also gives them more room for their dining room because they don't have to open up those tacky doors. So it's
That's
great,
true.
guys. That was another Shaney House Crash success. Now let's talk about the Davis house. This again is one of our favorite renovations completely.
This is another ranch house that they wanted completely opened up. They had a very boxy home. When you walk into the entryway, you see immediately this room that we dubbed the random room. It's just a long galley room with a fireplace. Walk beyond that into the living room. You've got the other side of the fireplace and brown paneling all over the room.
In all the places.
All the places.
Everything. And hiding behind a giant wall in the living room was this little bitty, non-functioning, extremely outdated kitchen. So we had our hands full with this house. However, I think we solved all of their problems.
To start, my favorite is the giant island. They got a huge 9-foot island right in the smack middle of their kitchen and their living room.
So we were able to take down that terrible wall, which opened up that house so much. And not only did we open up that wall, we also took out the wall that was on each side of the fireplace.
And that left the sides of the fireplace exposed, which were not covered in brick. And we didn't have the brick to match. So we got creative and decided to plank the sides, and it looks so intentional to me, and I love the contrast between the brick and the plank sides.
Totally, it's so cute.
It gives a great focal point when you walk into the house. The first thing that you see is this giant, beautiful fireplace that we gave a white paint finish.
And it makes me want a see-through fireplace. One on each side of the room. Like, I love that. I think that's so fun. So for that random room, we actually turned it into a super functioning kid room as well as an office, but you can't tell that it's either. Ashley designed the coolest table. Are we calling it the Lego table? Is that what it's called?
The Lego table. We can
The Lego table. So this is a square coffee table. It's so cute in any house, and she designed little cubbies that pull out, and they actually, you can either sit on them or they hold toys. Genius.
So when you walk into their house, you don't see a big toy room like we saw before. You actually see beautiful furniture. It looks like a sitting area. And then beyond that, Whitney gave the perfect spot for an art room, and she built this beautiful secretary.
So that's one of my favorite builds, and it's so awesome because when you close it all up, you can't tell that it's an office space, but you're able to open it up, sit down at it, get your work done, and it's so cute too. And moving back into the living room / kitchen, we also gave them the best place to sit down and eat their meals. So against this other brick wall that they had, we gave them a sitting bench that is high back. Oh my goodness, it's so cute, so shanty.
Pretty. We've got that big white brick wall, and we needed something that would contrast and be like a piece of art, but also functional, and I think we nailed it.
Totally. And then we also built them the most beautiful dining table, so they're able to either sit at the bench or sit on chairs on the other side, but they can fit a lot of people at this space.
Another Shaney house crash in the books.
Another one of our favorite renovations was at a local jewelry shop. We were challenged to renovate a very small industrial space and turn it into a walk-in jewelry shop.
So the first thing that we did was to bring some life and some color and some texture into the space, and we did that with peel and stick barnwood.
We also built her a really pretty table, and this gave her a space to do her work, but it also gave her an actual table to do her sales, to make her receipts.
We designed it to look like an old church bench, but it's a 5-foot table, and it is so pretty. It looks like we found it somewhere.
She also wanted to be able to serve her customers coffee and tea, so we designed a really cute coffee bar with some floating shelves above. She's able to keep her coffee and her tea there, and cups and everything else, and it is so cute.
And one of my very favorite pieces that we built for this space is the Faux hanging bench. It is just a platform bed that fits a crib mattress, and it's got a wood frame underneath that we painted black, so you can't even see it when you're standing up. That's what all the support comes from, and then it looks like it's hanging from leather straps on the wall.
Every time we share that piece on social media, people go crazy. They love that bench, the faux bench. We also needed a wall to display all of the jewelry, so we wanted to give her a wall that had some flair and some details, so we came up with a great idea to stencil one of these walls to mimic an encaustic tile wall. We were able to give her a very high-end, cool look for very few dollars.
I love how modern it makes the space too, and it really breaks up the 3 different walls.
Yes, totally. It's crazy.
All right, and another piece that we really loved was the barn door that we built. It's a custom barn door. It's a super easy hack. We'll share the plans in the description box below. The room had an opening that led into the break room. The break room was not done yet, and it was kind of an eyesore, so we were able to give her a very beautiful and functional barn door that was a piece of art on the wall, but it was also serving a purpose.
Another Shaney house crash success. Blow it up. You didn't blow it up.
I've never done that before.
Oh, it's because you're old. So one of our most recent favorite before and afters has to be mine and Ashley's Fireplaces.
It also happens to be one of the most controversial projects.
So we've both been in our homes for several years now, and we both had stone fireplaces. Great big, I mean, it's Texas. You see a lot of these. I was sick of seeing it. I saw beauty in the stone, but I was ready to lighten the space up, kind of give it a new feel, but I didn't have a lot of money.
And I've been planning on actually covering the stone with planks. I had figured out a way that I could do it. I could do a planked fireplace. It would have been a lot of time and a lot of money. I may do it one day, but I didn't have to do it today.
So we decided that we were gonna both do our fireplaces in a German schmear. Say schmear 3 times fast.
Schmear, schmear, schmear.
It's a rough word, guys. So for under $60 on each fireplace, we were able to take our stones from a dated and dark look and really give it a brand new look.
I love too that the natural stones really give off a super rustic feel. So it was very limiting because we wanted to bring some more modern looks into our house, but it's hard when you have a very rustic fireplace.
That's right. And so many of you loved this idea. Yes.
So many of you thought that we ruined our stone, but it's okay. We are okay.
Everybody's fine.
If you don't like it and you're going to get rid of it, you may as well do something that you might like that's less expensive to fix it for the time being.
Yeah, they're really beautiful Band-Aids. We hope that you enjoyed sitting down with us and talking through some of our favorite before and afters.
If you think of some that we haven't shared with you yet, let us know in the comment section below.
Thanks so much, guys. Driftwood?
Driftwood, sorry. Okay.
Marshmallow.
I love how the top of the,
But it also served as a great plate, so she can store her, very, very minimal, sorry.